Yes, good morning, students. Today we are starting our chapter number 3, Interior of the Earth. In this chapter, you will know about the interior of the Earth. Which type of materials are found in the inside the Earth, and what is the density? What are the changes occurring within inside the Earth? What are the three layers, and how do we come to know all about all these, right? So first of all, over the surface you have seen some physiographic differences. There are some physiographic changes, means there are the different kinds of uh, landscapes over the surface of the earth. There are some region where the mountains are there, some have plateau region, some have plain areas, some have rugged areas, some have water bodies, all that. So different landscapes can be seen over the surface of the earth. How these physiographic changes come over the surface of the earth? This is due to the two forces which are called endogenic forces, and second is exogenic forces, right? In detail we will discuss these forces in our next chapter, but for this chapter you have to understand only these. Endogenic forces are those forces which work inside the earth, right? So these forces works inside the earth and bring changes over the surface and inside the surface also. Exogenic forces are those forces which work outside the earth, right? Means over the surface of the earth. So these are the forces which works outsidely over the surface, right? So what are these forces? First, endogenic forces are the sudden forces like volcanic eruption, earthquakes, because these forces comes under the earth, right? And exogenic forces like our weathering agents, river, wind, glacier, ocean currents or ocean waves, right? So these are our exogenic forces: river, wind, glacier, ocean currents, right? So and underground water also. So these forces are considered as the exogenic forces. Now when they work, when they do their work, they bring some physiographic changes due to all these factors. Physiographic changes means in the hilly region you can see the waterfall, है in the plain region you can see the delta formation. In the deserted area you see the mushroom rocks and the sand dunes, etc. Right? In the oceans you can see the sea cliffs, sea caves. All these features are formed by the exogenic forces. Why? Due to the volcanic eruption, there is a crater formation, different type of rocks, basalt, silt, pecolite. Yeah, these are the formation created by the volcanic eruption. Earthquake brings changes in the landforms. The landform can be thrust, that the landform can be uplift, right? So all these forces bring the changes within the crust and over the crust. So these brings the physiographic change. But without understanding the endogenic forces, we were not able to understand the physiographic changes which brings in the surface of the earth, right? So here we will, in this chapter we will deal with the endogenic forces and which brings the main source of the about the information of interior of the earth. Now the what are the sources? First is sources of information about the interior of the earth. What are the main sources? First of all, our earth's radius is 6,370 kilometers. So earth have vast radius 6,370 kilometers, and temperature is also very high, right? So it is impossible for the scientist or for any person to go through with inside the earth in the center and collecting the information about the interior of the earth. Then how we come to know that the earth is made up of which type of material, the crust is made up of which type of material, the core consists which type of material, right? How the earth behave from inside, how do we come to know, right? Then which type of material is found inside the earth, and how do the earth behave inside, right? So lot of information our mostly based upon some direct sources and indirect sources. So there are some sources from where we can collect the direct information about the interior of the earth. Such type of resources is first is mines, second is oil drilling, and third is volcanic eruption. These are the three main sources from which we get the information about the interior of the earth directly, right? So what are the character? But the information which we get from the direct sources are very limited. Why? First is mines, right? When we go through with the mining processing, we dig out the crust, and when we dig out the crust, different type of materials emerge from the inside the earth, right? Then we analyze this type of material, its density, and we collect the information about the earth's interior. But due to the mining process, the deepest mine can be dug only in the South Africa. South Africa, it is a gold mine named Robinson Mine, and it is only 3 to 4 kilometers deep. So it is the deepest mine. Take it is the deepest mine which depth is only 3 to 4 kilometers. So by the mining process, we can find the information till the 4 kilometer inside the earth. So when we dig the mine, like when you have to take a new connection of water supply, or you have to repair the previous one, then you will what will you do? Then you will dig the roadside. As you go inside, first of all, the first layer will be the sand particles. When you dig out more deeply, then there will be more coarse material. When you go through with more deep, there will be a rocks right? There will be a rocks, bricks particle, right? So similarly, when we dug the earth's crust, there was a different kind of material with the depth, right? So this gives us idea about the earth, which type of material it is formed of, right? Second is oil drilling project. Similarly, to get the oil, the scientists, worldwide scientists, they are working on two major projects. First is Deep Ocean Drilling Project. Deep Ocean Drilling Project. And second is Integrated Ocean Drilling Project. Same procedure is going with these projects. They dug the earth's crust and the material which was occurred during this project, that was analyzed with the depth. We can see with the depth the density of material and the type of material is also changed. But by this method we can go through with the 10 to 12 kilometer, right? So by these two methods, mines and oil drilling, our knowledge is confined to only 12 kilometer, right? So we can go through with the 10, 12 kilometer. When we dig the mines, there is an increase in density, increase in temperature, and that temperature cannot be tolerated by the human beings. That's why the mining is limited to 3 to 4 kilometer. By the oil drilling project, when dig out the oil field, it is done by the machineries and it could be done only through the 10 to 12 kilometer. So maximum knowledge of by the direct sources, it is confined to the 12 kilometer. Now, third is the volcanic eruption. When the volcanoes erupt, as you know, what is the volcanic eruption? When the magma boiled and when it have some break point, some weak point, it comes from the inside the earth over the surface, right? So magma is confined to the mantle, upper mantle. So when the material comes along with the magma, it gives us idea. It is analyzes the material eject during the volcanic eruption, and this analysis gives us an idea about the interior of the earth, which type of material is found in the core, in the mantle, because that material ejected during the volcanic eruption over the surface. So that material was analyzed. So these are the direct sources, but by these direct sources, our information is very limited. We do not tend to know how the interior of the earth is formed. So our most of the knowledge is based upon the indirect sources. Now come to the second one, indirect sources. Indirect sources. Like as I told you, the mines and the oil drilling project, when we go through with these material, we came to know that the density of material is increasing with the depth, right? So when we go through with the mines, we observe that the temperature is also increasing. So by the direct sources, we come to know the pressure, the density, and the temperature all increased with the depth, right? We will discuss how much density, at which rate the temperature, density, and pressure increases. The later on in the last part of this chapter, right? So indirect sources. What are the indirect sources? They are the sources which gives us the information about the interior of the earth indirectly. Right? So it gives us the idea about the three layers of the earth. Which are the three layers? Crust, mantle, and core. There are some indirect sources including gravitation, magnetic field, and the seismic activity. These are the basic indirect sources which gives us the about the information of interior of the earth. First is gravitation, second is magnetic field, and third is the seismic activity. Gravitation. Gravitation, as we go with near the poles. Near the poles, gravitation is high, and at the equator, it is low. Why it is so? Because our earth is like a sphere. At the equator it is broad, at the pole it is squeezing. At the equator, suppose this is the pole, at the equator it is a distance. It has a large distance, while at the pole, due to the limited area or the small area, it is nearer to the core. So gravitation force is more at the poles than the equator, right? So there is a difference between the gravitation as well as the gravity. As gravity values also differ according to the mass of material. Higher the mass of the material, the gravity will be higher. Lower the mass of material, gravity will be lower. So there is a difference between the gravity, right? So there is a difference between the gravity. So that's why it is known as gravity abnormal, right? Anomaly. It is known as gravity anomaly, where there is a difference between the gravity according to the reason, that is known as gravity anomaly. And gravity anomaly is the difference between the mass of material according to the region, right? Second is magnetic field. Magnetic field occurs where the magnetic material is found, right? Magnetic material means iron and ferrous, right? So where there is a abundance of iron and ferrous, there will be higher magnetic field. And when where there is magnetic material and lower the magnetic material found, the it will lower magnetic field. So there is a difference between the magnetic field also when we go with the, and it keeps on changing also. So this magnetic field also gives us the idea about the interior of the earth, that the whole earth is not made up of same material. It have some heavier material and it have some magnetic material. It could have some non-magnetic material also. But our information through these two processes is also limited. The most important factor about the information is the seismic activity. Seismic activity is related to the earthquake, right? During the earthquake, the waves generate, and these waves are known as seismic waves. Right? So that's why we called it seismic activity. Now, what is the importance of seismic activity? To understand this, what first of all, you must come to know about the earthquake. What is earthquake? How does it occurs? Which type of waves generate during the earthquake? So, first is earthquake. Basically, any shaking or tremor within the earth is called earthquake. If there is any shaking, any tremor in the crust, that is known as earthquake. Suppose earthquake, like, it occurs openly, but sometimes it occurs very intensively, and then we can recognize it, right? Tremor, like if my hand is there, sometimes some other thing push this hand, yes, so there will be tremor in my arm, right? That's occurred also in the earth. There are, our earth is made up of some plates. Some plates means there are some slabs. It is not a single slab by which our earth is formed, like our floor, right? When we place the marble on our floor, we can't place a single marble for the entire floor. We make it with the pieces of marble. Similarly, our earth is also made up of some slabs, and these slabs is in different shapes, in different sizes, right? So these slabs are called plates. Where there will be a joint, their joint will be a weaker section. Remember it for the earthquake also and for the volcanic eruption also. If there is any joint between the two plates or two slabs, it will be a weaker point, right? If it will be a weaker point, right? So these plates move and frequently inside the earth. When these moves very frequently, it causes earthquakes. Now question is this, how they move, how they keep moving. What happened? Now when earthquake occurs, the waves energy released, because as I shake on my hand, this, it gives a space from here to here, right? So there will be a space, and by this space the energy will release. This released energy will generate the waves, which are called seismic waves, and these waves move in all the directions, in all the directions of the earth. Suppose this is our earth. Here the movement of earthquakes, the waves will generate and it will move from all sides, all the side of, right? So they move in all sides. And by the behavior of these waves, we came to know how the earth formed, how the interior of the earth is formed. Now the question is, how the energy released or the waves produced, right? So why does the earth shake? होता क्यों है ये? Why does the earth shake? Why it is not stable? The next is, right? So as I told you, there are slabs. Due to these slabs, there is a fault. This is a fault where it is a joint, right? So this is a fault or a weak section, we can say. right? So by this sharp leap or fall, the rocks tends to move apart from each other, or they tends to move in opposite directions. It is occurring frequently within inside the earth. Till now, this is also occurring, but we cannot recognize, right? Because it is a normal phenomena that the rocks move opposite to each other. Now, what would happen? The upper slab keeps on pressure on these slabs. That's why these two slabs bind all together, right? But when they move opposed to each other, by this fault, the energy will released. Sometimes what happens, they move very frequently apart from each other. If this movement is very frequent, the fault will increase and the energy will released by this fault, and this energy create or generate waves throughout the earth. The energy which will comes from the fault, it will generate the waves throughout the earth in all directions, and these are called seismic waves. Let's understand it again. But why do our earth shakes? Because it is made up of different slabs, and these slabs where it joins, there is a fault or sharp lip. These rocks tends to move up in opposite directions. It is a normal phenomena. This is a fault. When they move from apart from each other, within the fault, the energy will released. Right? This energy is will produce the waves throughout the earth. Now, what happens? Sometimes the upper slabs keeps pressure or friction on these two slabs, which bind them all together. It is a normal phenomenon. But sometimes there is a movement abruptly. The slabs move apart from each other very frequently. एकदम से एक दूसरे से अलग होते हैं. That's why the fault increase and the energy which generated by the fault is also increased, and the waves generated by this energy spread over all around the earth, and these are called waves. By the behavior of these waves, how these waves behaved, by this behavior we came to know about the interior of the earth, because there are three types of waves are generated during this process, right? Now, what are these three types of waves? Earthquake waves, right? That is a very important part of this chapter. Earthquake waves. Mostly lithosphere. Lithosphere is 200 kilometer. Is up to 200 kilometer. It includes crust plus upper mantle. Right? So it is formed of rocks. And first of all, we are talking about the earthquake waves. Three types of waves are there, and they have behaved differently when they go inside the earth, when they go with a different type of material, right? So how do we come to know about these waves? How can we measure it? It is the instrument called seismograph. Seismograph. The instrument to measure the earthquake waves is called seismograph. To record the seismic waves. We placed it over the surface of the earth. When the earthquake comes, the graph is generated on the seismograph, and by this graph, we came to know about the behavior of the seismic waves. It is like a solid base. Solid base, concrete base was made of on land. There is a stick. Along with this stick, there is a drum. On this drum, there is a white paper. There is a heavy material, and on this material, there is a pen. Right? What happened when the earthquake comes? Because this is a very heavy solid base, right? So this is a solid base. When the earthquake comes, along with this solid surface, there is a stick. It began to tremor. This stick began to tremor, and the material, the solid heavy material joined on it, also shake. And this shaking is this shake material shake the pen which is on the paper. When it shakes, it will create some this type of material, right? Suppose my hand is stable, but if I shake it, it is stable. But if I begin to shake it, it is like that, right? Some graph type, some जैसे like a ECG, है ना? Some graph will be generated or created on the white paper, and there are three type of graph during the earthquake on the seismograph, by which we came to know that there are three types of waves generated during the earthquakes, right? So this is a seismograph. It is an instrument to record the seismic waves during the earthquakes. Now, what type of when the energy released and the waves are produced, there are some waves which move in all the direction of the earth. Because these waves are produced within the body of the earth from the point of earthquake, that's why they are known as body waves. And these are of two types, P waves and S waves. Right? When these P waves and S waves reached over the crust area, this is post crust area, then they will strike to the rocks, right? When they will strike to the rocks, the third type of waves were produced, and this third type of waves is known as L waves or surface waves. The third, surface waves, because they are produced near the surface. So broadly, we can classify the seismic waves into two categories. First is body waves, which moves within the body of the earth. Second is surface waves. They move along with the surface. Body waves are further of two types, as we record it on seismograph with their different behavior. There are two types of body waves, P waves and S waves. Surface waves are known as L waves. L waves are also of two types, love waves and Rayleigh waves. Right? In the next lecture, we will discuss all these types of waves. Till now, if you have any doubt regarding this chapter, you can ask.